Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I will be talking about mineral and energy resources. I'll be reading the chapter 5 of Contemporary India class 10th Geography and explaining the chapter. So first and foremost, we use different things in our daily life made from metals. If you see around yourself, you will see that various things are made up of metals like iron, steel, aluminium, etc. So anything which you see around us has some or the other metal in it. Where do these metals come from? These metals come from minerals which are embedded in the rocks. So rocks are a combination of many minerals together. So metals are extracted or they are obtained from these minerals which are formed in the rocks, and they are extracted by various processes which are called as refinement. Minerals are an indispensable part of our life. That means that minerals form a very important part of our life. We cannot live without minerals. We use minerals in our daily life. Almost everything that we use, a tiny pin to a towering building or a big ship, everything almost is made up of minerals. So minerals and metals form very important part of our life and are called as resources. The railway lines and the tarmac or the paving of the roads or any kind of machinery that we use, the cars, the buses, trains, aeroplanes, everything is manufactured possibly by minerals, and they run because of some power resources like electricity. Okay, even the food that we eat also contains some minerals. Foods contain minerals like iron, calcium, potassium, magnesium. These minerals are dissolved in the food, which possibly food contains some minerals like calcium, potassium, magnesium, iron, which is dissolved in food. So the question arises, what is a mineral? Now, geologists are the people who actually study about minerals and rocks and about the earth. And they defined mineral as a homogeneous, naturally occurring substance with a definable internal structure. That means that minerals are homogeneous. That means they have got pure elements. They are not a mixture. Okay, the atomic structure is pure. So if you take any mineral, it is always in pure form. If it is suppose jasper, then the internal structure of atoms will be in pure form of jasper. But if two or more minerals combine together or mix together, it will cause or it will form an ore. But the texture and the hardness of rocks and minerals vary. For example, diamond is the hardest mineral, whereas talc is the softest mineral from which powder is made. So as you have already learned about rocks, rocks are a combination of homogeneous substances called minerals. So basically rocks contain a mixture of two or more minerals. Minerals are homogeneous or in pure form, they're elements, but rocks are a combination of two or three minerals from where minerals can be extracted. There are some rocks which are also made up of pure minerals like limestone, which is made up of calcium carbonate, a single mineral, but majority of rocks do contain two or more or several minerals which are in different proportions. The texture or the physical components of the rocks depend upon the amount of different minerals which are contained in it. That is how hard or soft the rock is, whether it is having luster or not. Luster means shine, or of different colors. All that depends upon the kind of minerals which are contained in that rock. Minerals are found in ores. An ore is an accumulation of any mineral mixed with other elements. The mineral content of the ore must be sufficient concentration to make its extraction commercially viable. This means that ores are basically rocks containing minerals, but these minerals are in a greater amount or quantity so that it can be commercially extracted for various purposes. Basic difference between a rock and an ore is that rocks contain minerals in different quantities or in different percentages that may not be commercially important, but an ore contains a specific kind of a mineral in huge quantity. Like there are gold ore, iron ore, copper ore, manganese ore. Different ores are found which contains minerals in a large quantity. Therefore, the mining areas or the mines are located in those areas where there are ores or a specific kind of an ore found. Let's talk about the occurrences of these minerals where these ores are found. The first is in igneous and metamorphic rocks. So those places where volcanic eruptions have taken places, where there are cracks and crevices, faults which are formed. That means those are the volcanic faults from where the molten magma comes out. These are the places where the minerals are found. These are igneous rocks and they are found in veins and in lodes. Veins and lodes are basically the places or the pathways through which the molten magma rises to the surface or comes to the surface across any fault or any crack which happens on the surface. So minerals are formed in liquid, molten and gaseous forms and are forced upwards through cavity towards the earth's surface. That means the molten magma which comes out from a volcanic cavity. Cavity are the faults or the gaps which are formed on the surface from which molten magma is risen or is forced to rise to the surface as lava. These minerals they cool down because initially they are very hot and they are in molten state, they are liquid state, and solidifies gradually to form metallic minerals like tin, copper, zinc, lead, iron. So all these minerals are basically found in those regions where there are volcanic eruptions. Therefore, the mining areas are close to the volcanic erupted areas. Second place of occurrence of minerals are the sedimentary rock beds. Sedimentary rocks are the rocks which have been formed by the accumulation of sediments. These are the eroded materials by winds, water, rivers, etc. and they get collected and accumulated and they cement down and they form these sedimentary rocks. Coal is a fossil fuel and is an example of sedimentary rock mineral which is formed by accumulation of vegetal matter over the ages and they have been formed layers after layers. A lot of rocks are exposed to agents of erosion like wind, water, rainfall, glaciers, then waves and tides, and thus they are eroded also as well as weathered away because of a lot of different kinds of weather conditions and temperature conditions, leaving behind a residual mass of weathered material. That means whatever material that is left behind is all weathered and decomposed. Bauxite is such an example, which contains it's basically a sedimentary rock which contains the weathered material and silicates. There are some minerals which also occur along the alluvial deposits, which are basically the deposits by the rivers along the valley floor as well as the sides and the banks of the river. It is also found in sands. Gold is also similarly found as placer deposits. These minerals are actually called as placer deposits and they have been carried down by the rivers and agents of erosion and they have been deposited along the hills and the valley floors. Therefore, placer deposits are also called as alluvial sands. Basically, they are loose, unconsolidated materials formed by weathering and erosion of primary rocks, and they had been transported by agents of erosion and deposited. And small deposits of tin, gold, diamond, zircon, monazite, etc. are found. Ocean water is another very important source of minerals. They contain huge amounts of minerals like sulfur, calcium, potassium, magnesium, bromine, and if you see the submerged ships under the ocean or any clip of the deep oceans, then you will see that there are different kinds of minerals which can be seen of different colors. Different rocks are found underwater. Even the oceanic plants and the marine life also are very colorful, and therefore different kinds of minerals are found deep under the ocean because there is lithosphere. Under the ocean also there is crust, there is land formations and rocks which are rich in minerals.